Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. It's Recap and Record. I'm Levi, that's Los, and we're here. It's the season finale, week 6.
Wow. A 6 week.
Yep.
6 week season, man. That's quick, man.
Yeah, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms is over. Final episode, a solid, very short 30 minutes, and it's it, man. And listen, before we get into some news and other series rumblings and things along those lines, I told
Oh
Megs,
my God, yes, because there is another. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, we got some things, but yeah,
wow, yeah, I'm excited.
I told Megs, I told her, I'm like, hey, this Sunday, I'm gonna be a little like, it's the season finale. I'm like kind of bummed this show's ending, like, and she's like, well, but I thought you told me like you weren't really too like weird on this show, and I'm like, well, that's actually crazy because, you know, in the beginning I thought there were no stakes. Like, how are they going to capture us? These 30-minute episodes. I was a little on the fence, and I told her, I said, now at this time, here we are in the season finale, and it's up there. I have it up there as regarded as probably one of my top. You know what I mean? It's up there with some of the series that I think that we've seen, especially in a long time on TV, just with kind of the state of television and streaming. And it's been a while since I've turned on something new and got excited every week.
No, that's real. That's real. Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, man, I think this series just kind of knocked it out of the park, and I'm curious where we're gonna go in season 2, and we'll obviously get into that, but before we do, we've got some news. Some things are happening. They are not following in the footsteps of years past. They're not hanging us out to dry. We're getting back-to-back series now. We've got enough Game of Thrones. With that being said, you, I'm sure, have seen House of the Dragon Season 3 trailer.
Yes, and that's, and it's crazy, Levi, that like I no disrespect to Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Yeah. I like that this has rejuvenated like the fan base overall, and like, man, like they're talking about like a lot of these episodes this season were ranking up there with Game of Thrones like all-time episodes. But I think we got to put some respect on House of the Dragon's name, man, because like when I seen that trailer, I was like, oh wait up, I'm gonna have to watch it. I'm gonna have to rewatch it. But there was so much action. There's so much going on in that show. That show is like ruthless. Like in a way, like we don't see. I think we take for granted like how like the Targaryen like story, like how deep that is, and all the stuff that they really have going on, man. Like to have a Game of Thrones within one house. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a civil war. Like we're in the middle of a civil war. So I think we do need, like, that trailer made me look. I looked at that and I said, "Oh, wait up, have we been, or not me? But have people been sleeping on House of the Dragon?"
Well, I think the issue was, if my memory serves me correctly, from season 2, I think we're all expecting one of the 2 big battles that we're now getting in season 3, based on what we've seen in the trailer in season 2. And I think with season 2, it was every week we were trying to figure out who was going to be the next dragon rider, and sometimes that was just a guy running around on a beach, and sometimes that was a bunch of people just getting burnt in a cave,
a homeless dude,
right? And a homeless dude from the pub. So that was kind of this preemptive build up to now what is going to be paid off, I think, as far as season 3. So I mean, this trailer, I think you nailed it on the head. I think it has rejuvenated the kind of like what we would expect from the Game of Thrones. I mean, it's basically so what's going to happen is in episode 1, we're getting the Battle of the Gauntlet, and it's supposed to be the biggest thing to ever happen, at least I think to this series. 6 dragons are involved, Corlys with the ships. It's a monumental part of the Targaryen house civil war, and then that obviously leads us into the rest of the season, and I think we're ending this season, based on what I've heard and read so far, with another prime kind of battle within the series. And then my last and final prediction would be this season ends with Rhaenyra on the throne again. And then I think probably season 4 will take us into the aftermath of that and the demise of whoever is said to be demised within the timeline of the story.
Well, I don't want to get, because I now have, like I told you, I passed that part in my book, and to be honest, I don't know, like I don't think things go down the way we think it's gonna go down, like how many seasons are we supposed to be getting of House? Because like you said, we are going to get a big battle, but like there was that part of the story is so rich in battles, and like there's so like they talk about how like there's more dragons that exist and more dragon riders in this period of time than ever in the whole like universe of Westeros and all this. So I don't know if we're gonna like the ending of it. I don't know if we're gonna get what you expect. I think it's gonna feel like some of those Game of Thrones seasons where it's like it's not gonna. I don't think they're gonna slow play us, but I think it's gonna be a lot slower played out than we even think. So I think so, because I think they're building. They are still building. But the thing is, the problem with this is that with these stories being so rich. And I guess they're trying to divide the story up in a certain way. I just worry that, I don't know. I guess I just worry that we could lose momentum, especially if it's going to take a long time to produce these shows. You know what I mean? So like, I mean, but if we do get the Night of Seven Kingdoms or Night of the Nine Kingdoms, right? If we get those episodes in between, I think we'll get our fix. And then you never know, like they might come out with something else in the meantime as well. Like who knows? So
it's I'm curious. Because I think you're right. Because all of last season, I was waiting and prepared for this big blowout of a battle that we're obviously getting in episode 1 of season 3. And so I think I need to extend my expectations. Like they'll give us a whole season of just like a week's time in the timeline and then not worry about some major events till next year. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and I mean, hey, who knows? Maybe things are always changing, and with the success of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, the future trajectory, obviously probably not for season 3, but now for season 4 of House might be completely different once we get there.
Because and again, I don't know how far they're gonna stretch it out, but like Rhaenyra's son, right, who she named Aegon, that's like in the story, that's one of the better kings, because he's the father, I think, of Jaehaerys, who the conciliator, who was No. Matter of fact, no. I'm going too far ahead. Too far ahead. Never mind. But there's a lot of stuff that kind of goes on. But it's dope. It's dope.
Yeah. So, great trailer. I mean, we see everyone's back. It's just I don't. Just a lot of clips out of context, obviously, for what we'll see in episode 1 and beyond. So I don't think we need to necessarily break it down. But excited, that's coming in June. So we're gonna have March, April, May, we'll have 3 months off, and then we're back. And then we'll.
I think I have an idea of a show to do in between if you want to. But
okay.
I don't know.
Okay. All right. We'll talk. We'll talk after. I'm excited. Okay.
Yeah.
So the other bit of news, I don't know if you saw this or not last week, but remember when I said they were regarding the 5th episode and the Name of the Mother, the Trial of the Seven? The internet and the fanboys were attempting to make this the best episode of television in the history of
television. Yes.
And so the only other episode of television that was ranked a 10 out of 10 on IMDb was that of season 5, episode 14, Breaking Bad.
Ozymandias.
Yes. I'm glad you said it because I didn't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, Ozymandias. That's like a book like that, but it's a book of some kind of crazy stuff. But
sure. Hank dies, I think, in that one. It's towards the end of the series. And so, I mean, overall, I think you and I both agree. I rank Breaking Bad. It's up there as my top 1 to 2 of all time. So, I mean, but just that episode Then in comes on horseback is the Knights of the Seven Kingdom. We are now in a review bombing battle to get the episode of Breaking Bad and the episode of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms to be higher ranked. So the Breaking Bad episode that was sitting at a perfect 10 out of 10 for nearly 13 years has been hit with over 50,000 one-star reviews over the last 3 to 4 days.
That's corny.
Taking the review and the ranking of the Breaking Bad episode down to a 9.8, and then obviously boosting up the Night of Seven Kingdoms episode to a 9.8, 9.9. And it's been fluctuating. There'll be a rush of Breaking Bad, positive and negative reviews, and the same vice versa. So the fandoms are now battling on IMDb. I'm not sure if IMDb is going to initially fix it due to the silliness. I'm sure they do. Usually in this case, businesses like that step in and recorrect the score of what it should be, but I don't know. But it's just I'm curious your thoughts on the review bombing. I mean, I assumed, much like you and I, the fandoms of Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones were one of the same. Like, it's good television. It's guy culture. It's curious that we're now head to head with each other.
No, I think that's kind of like really corny. Like if that I didn't even know that was a thing. I did see like the ratings but I didn't know there was like a rating bomb going on. I think it's corny because it's not authentic, right? Yeah. Because if we're talking about Breaking Bad, right, that record now it's over a decade, right? Yep. Like when did that finale happen, or when did that episode?
That episode, air? That was September 15th, 2013. So
more than
13
so we're
years.
talking about 13 years. Like so don't come in here trying to artificially elevate something that's really good, but like that means something more because it's held for 13 years. Like, so that's the real undisputed. Like, even if you do come up out of nowhere and make some noise, like it's nothing wrong with being the best since the Breaking, you know what I mean, like if the highest rated since that Breaking Bad episode, but like or if it was organic, but like if there's some bombing going on, that's corny. I don't like it.
Yeah, and just to wrap it up, it's really funny. The official Game of Thrones social media accounts posted clips from the Battles of the Bastards with Jon Snow addressing, like just with text on the screen, and Ramsay, I think, is shooting arrows at Jon Snow, and every arrow that hits his shield, the review count, the number of review is going down, and it's just a very ironic thing that they have addressed it and like making a silly kind of episode of it. Like you said, very corny. It's not. It's interesting. I'll let you know if it gets resolved. I'll keep an eye on IMDb if it does or not. And then last but not, go ahead.
What do you know? I guess I want to know what your last but not least is.
I just sent you a photo. Not really much to get into, but they have officially released the Night of the Seven Kingdoms Funko Pops. I myself have been sober from the Funkos for a couple of years now. Not sure if this will draw me back in, but I'm eyeing up that Lyonel Baratheon Funko, maybe as a set piece for next season. We'll see. But I thought those are just always fun.
I would want an egg Funko with the peach fuzz on top. You know what I mean?
Like the peach fuzz from this episode. That's funny, dude. That's funny.
That would be dope. A little white little buzz cut. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's great.
No, so I'm surprised you did not talk about this. So speaking of George R.R. Martin and him furthering his expansion of his show, right? The Game of Thrones is going to the theater, right? So the Mad King, the Mad King played an open at Royal Shakespeare Theater. The Robert's Rebellion prequel story is getting the Royal Shakespeare Company treatment, and will have all the epic qualities that audience can expect. So yes, this is major. Like, and the thing is, I think it's cool. Again, this is what George R.R. Martin should be doing, right? Like, using material that already exists to create things instead of like playing this game of like, all right, let's do a new. I don't know. Like, the Mad King is already it's a story in
A to
itself.
Z. Yep.
Yes, it's talking about Robert's Rebellion and everything that leads into that, and there's a big tournament that happens at Harrenhal that leads to
The Harrenhal
the
tournament. Yep,
events.
I heard about
Yeah,
that.
that leads to pretty much the demise of House Targaryen as we know it. So I think that's dope, man. And obviously, I'm not gonna go to England to watch it, but we know.
Well, we should though. That's what I was gonna say. We should. Should we not? Like,
I think it's gonna come. It's gonna come here eventually. You know. I don't know. I guess we gotta look into it. I guess we gotta look into price.
Let's look at some prices.
Let's maybe
make like a 4-day weekend. Maybe we'll see.
That would be kind of dope, man. That would be dope. But the Mad King play, and they seem like they have it together. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I did see this news. I didn't look too much into it, but I mean, I heard they mentioned a list of characters from Lannisters to Targaryens that we'll all recognize from the events right before the beginning of Game of Thrones. I think they said one of the Lannisters, either Jaime. I think Jaime Lannister. He's in the play, but he'll be a teenager kind of situation. So yeah,
he's the Kingsguard. He's part of the Kingsguard.
Right.
And he's supposed to be. This was like kind of like the coronation, him being a part of Kingsguard. Yeah. But like, it's crazy because I don't think people realize, like, learn about the Mad King story a little bit. Just how Tywin is connected to it. Like, him and the Mad King was boys, but then. Like, the Mad King, he does a lot of different things to, like, slight Tywin. Like, and part of what he did to slight Tywin was making Jaime part of the King's Guard, right? Because that kind of destroyed Tywin's chance of a legacy, because that was his true heir, outside of Tyrion. And but yeah, it's crazy, and it gets into like some of the backstory that we learn in Game of Thrones that has to do with Rhaegar and Lyanna Stark and his actual wife, and like, so it's a lot, man. It's a lot there, and I'm excited to see how they do it, and also like how long it's gonna take for it to hit Broadway, or is it better to just watch it there? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe, I don't know if they do like VOD? Like, can you buy it for like $50 or something? I'm not.
Maybe they might do that.
So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. That'd be exciting. Maybe we can go. But yeah, okay, fun. Yeah. So I mean, we've got a play. We've now got 2 active television series. We're touring around with. I mean, who knows? Maybe an animation might be coming soon. It's just I am the news and the rumor mill and rumblings coming out of all of these press releases and interviews is like, now we've got things in motion. So definitely. Very, very exciting stuff coming soon. All right, you want to jump into this episode?
Let's get into it, man.
Yeah. So basically, fam, this episode, I went back and rewatched the trailer, and that's what they gave us. The trailer for this episode was the episode. I don't think there was really anything else that we there were some one-liners, but other than that, like you said, this episode was
it was light and ass, man.
Yeah, it was light, and just kind of a positive-ish ending for our characters, and then just on to the next journey. So
this episode was a true resolution. If we're looking at a plot diagram, like the episode 5 was the climax, like and Baelor dying, Dunk winning, that is the turning point, like, you know what I mean, of how everybody else is gonna be living. And then this is like them kind of resolving all that. But it was not that much to go off of. Right?
And so
there was some humor in this episode, though.
And since our questions for the last few weeks, after digging in deeper to a few other platforms that understand this lore a little bit better than I do, it's basically house rules. If a trial of 7 has started and needs to happen, the rest of the tournament is over, and that's going to be it. So no more tournament games. Everyone's packing up and going home, as we see. So Something, I don't know if maybe someone said that along the way, or if we missed it, or if that just was kind of something that was to be just assumed based on the fact that the Trial 7 was the main event.
No, I don't think I didn't know that it was a celebration of the little girl though. I remember that
it's her
being
birthday,
like a
right?
thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I do remember that, but other than that, yeah, they didn't really specify that like we would get no tournament.
So we open with something interesting that I didn't pick up on when I first watched it, but like I said, among listening to some other sources, this is one of the first times that we open a Game of Thrones show with a different type of audio. It wasn't the standard music for any type of Game of Thrones, kind of like that. It was more jazzy. I'm gonna go back and listen to it again. I didn't catch that the first time around, but I did. I then saw a tweet backing up that fact that this was kind of just a something new that I guess they did and tried, and I don't really think it mattered all that much. Did you notice a music change?
Now that you saying that, I'm like, yeah, I don't think I realized it, but yeah, it was a different feel to the beginning of it. It wasn't like
it was quick.
It was happy.
Yeah,
it was, but it was like cheerful, like kind of. It wasn't like the vibe of this episode was just happy overall.
Yeah, so we get Lyonel, of course, perfect. I love it, opening with him and his dialogue, just with calling the nurse terrible. Like, if he had an itchy butt, like, you wouldn't be able to help him. Claiming that Dunk's wounds are
he's fine. You're
right.
Fine.
Yeah.
You'll
basically,
be
he'd
right.
be all right. Yep. And
he's like, sir, like they've mortified and like whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
He's like, nah, you'll be all right, man.
Right.
He don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
So we kind of get this bro moment where Lyonel invites him to come back to Storm's End with him and just kind of be his boy. He's like, this is why I live for tournaments. They're fun. They're exciting. Trial 7. Like, why not? As soon as I go back home, it's a snooze fest. There's nothing going on. You should come with me. We'll play video games. We'll hang out. We'll go hunting. Like, we'll be like best friends. And, obviously Dunk kind of turns him down just because of the life he wants to live. But it's an important conversation, obviously, for their relations in the future, and just kind of they become just kind of like Baratheon in this scene says, I'll love you as a brother and I'll hate you just as much. Their story obviously will continue.
Well, and that's interesting because when you think about any of these other shows, you don't really get to see these characters like bro it up with other houses, right? Like it's pretty much you bro it up only with your own. Like we knew that like Ned and Baratheon was good friends, and then even Jon Arryn, right? But Jon Arryn is dead. Like we never see Jon Arryn really on camera,
right?
And so those three are like tight, but like we don't see that other than when Ned goes there. But like I thought it was interesting. Like there's really people have allies a little bit, but you don't get to see them hang out with their friends.
I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, because I've determined this week I need to go back and watch Game of Thrones from start to finish. I know you've done it multiple times. I haven't. It's only been once, maybe twice, sporadically, but so because I keep seeing clips on TikTok of main Game of Thrones stories, just relating back to some things that we're watching now, and there are some things that I'm seeing that I'm like, damn, did I not like watch half of season 1? And just like so, and seeing those connections. But correct me if I'm wrong, we don't really see too many meet cute stories either, in the sense of, like maybe Rhaenyra and Alicent, but they kind of were forced to grow up together in the castle.
Yes.
And in Game of Thrones, the friendships that we see are just kind of made like people crossing on the road, or you're coming with me, and then that's a whole season 2 to 3 season arc of them just being together on their little journey. And it's not really a situation where it's like Dunk walks into Lyonel's tent and we think he's going to have him like arrested for being there. And now all of a sudden one dance later and they're best buds. And
Yeah.
I think you're right.
The only friendships we see in Game of Thrones are when people become outlaws and exiled, you know what I mean, out of their lands.
Right.
Like, for example, like Arya and the Hound, or Jaime and Brienne, whatever. But like, we don't really see like, or even I wouldn't say bro, but like even Arya with the many-faced god and stuff like we or Bran with like oh my god, I gotta talk about this dude, the Three-Eyed Raven. Oh my god, like this is crazy. This is crazy. Like connections, it's crazy. But yeah. Or even Bran with those wildlings, or them. Yeah, I mean, like we see it. It's outlawed people. Jon Snow and Ygritte, right, with the wildlings.
Yeah.
Tormund, So
and
like
all of that is also too just cognitive chess moves to further themselves within the game. And so whether it's war or strategic or allies or defending against the White Walkers or whatever the situation, the Citadel, whatever the bad guy of the week is, because it varies from time to time. Is that's kind of the only reason then they are becoming friends. It's not like it's always for now. Obviously, in this scene, we hear Lyonel say, a war is coming, and you and I could just do great things together because he. In history, as I'm sure your book has maybe potentially hopefully told you, the Lyonel especially, but just House Baratheon altogether, and as his history unfolds, hate the Targaryens. So
and it's crazy because even though they're kind of close or like related in some ways, it is kind of wild.
He is so to do this trial of 7 and just bloody up any Targaryen that he possibly could was like pure sport for him. Like,
I like that dialogue though, where he's just like, yo, because Dunk is just feeling so bad on himself, like, yo, man, like this guy, and he's like, bro, I fought for you.
Right, back to that scene, I was just gonna bring it. He was like, yeah, can you have some respect for Baelor, please? And he's like, bro, half of the other team couldn't even hit him legally. The only one that could have hit him was his brother. And by the way, other Humphrey and myself, I fought for you, bitch. Why aren't you like fucking thanking me right now?
Yeah, like feel good. You're alive, bro. Like
Yeah, I know. I fell for Baelor in that, or Lyonel in that instance as well. And so then the last line he says in this scene, and I'm curious your thoughts. He says, "Well, that'll have it then. The caravan leaves after the roast." Now they do.
The fact that he called his cremation a roast was what I caught that too. I said,
I didn't know if there was like a final dinner party in Lyonel's tent with a nice big pig, and that was like a metaphorical thing, or if he was referring to the funeral.
Nah, the cremation was the roast, and I said, yo, that's wild. I don't think nobody caught that, but no, you caught it.
No, I caught it immediately. I rewound it.
No, he did it.
Yep, I caught that shit immediately. I was like, the roast of Baelor, or is there another little party that's going to happen before we all get out of here? Which I'm sure both are a possibility, but that was... So the funeral, I mean, I have a couple questions here. Some of them are rhetorical, but who's in charge of telling the funeral director all of the resume? Who's in charge of memorizing the resume? Because it's like everyone, Prince of Dragonstone, heir to the Iron Throne, hand of the King, Lord of the Seven Kingdoms, protector of the realm, homeboy to Maekar. Like I find that fascinating. Like, has anyone ever messed that up? Because you've got like 12 credits to your name. It's very interesting to me that that's just kind of a thing in this world. And curious, the Kingsguard just standing in the back wondering if they're about to be hanged for striking the
I didn't peep that. That part I didn't really pay attention to.
They didn't say anything. They just showed a shot of the Kingsguard attending the funeral. And I mean, if I were them, I mean, look at what happened when Dunk struck Aerion. Here we are, and now we're part of this, and it's our fault that like Baelor, it's kind of is dead. Like, I don't know, should they have been protecting him? Like, what was? So I'm sure they have some thoughts running through their heads, but So then we cut to Prince Valor.
Yes, Valor. Yes,
Baelor's son.
That is Baelor's son. Yes.
It was his armor. His armor that his dad was wearing, and he mentions that, which is interesting. Like, so many sons die in their father's armor, but never vice versa. Just an interesting line from him there too. Small thing, I don't know if you would have noticed, that I think most people probably miss, but Prince Baelor, as well as his son, they both have the two-tone disease. No, two-tone disease. I don't know actually what it's called, but they both have two different color eyes. They don't show it very well on the episode, but it's also represented in Baelor's blonde stripe in his head. So he's all brown-headed, but he has a blonde streak, which is also related to, he also has two different colored eyes. So just like his father, essentially, Baelor also had them.
I didn't peep that.
And really the only kind of just interaction we get is Dunk apologizing and them reminiscing on why the gods would choose the outcome of the battle that the gods must have chosen for the battle. And it's not much of a conversation there. I don't think there's too much anything else to discuss. Yeah. And then, man, we really get this character, man, from episode 1. I didn't think he was going to be much. I just thought he was going to be the squire of his cousin, and he was going to kind of not really be become an A character by the end of the season, I'd say.
Yes, Raymond Fossoway, Green Apple.
And my Green Apple boy, he's just whenever, you know what, Raymond, he's I don't really know what to call him, not a fairy godmother, but just like whenever you need him, he just kind of shows up. Like last episode, it's raining. He took care of Dunk's horses, took him into the tent, got him something to eat. Like, okay, great. You need a horse. Here comes this horse. Oh, you need a friend. You need a hug. Here he is. Raymond's your guy. And he's just like, he's someone you want to be friends with.
Yeah. Well, that scene was interesting, right? Because we see them talking, and oh man, we learn who the lady is, in the redhead girl.
Yep.
And my thing is she actually a lady, or is she like not? I'm not talking about gender. I'm talking about like respectability. Like, is she really a lady, or is she like just a little mistress? Right?
I think so. Yeah.
She's just a little a night girl, right?
So,
and what was Dunk? Is Dunk naive? Yeah, because it seemed like he knew what was going on, or was he just being the perfect wingman to where, like, you know how like your boy is, you know, he getting it right with a girl, whatever, and it's like you don't want to blow up the girl's spot in front of him because like it might mess up your friend's motion a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So like because he was like, yo, Raymond was sprung, man. He was like, oh yeah, man, you know what I mean, and this is my wife, and she's already pregnant, and Dunk is like,
well, right. So who's
gonna tell him? Who's gonna tell him? Like,
well, and that was my question, right? So my philosophy there was one of two ways: either she's been around and Dunk is acting the way he's acting because I'm going to assume Dunk's probably a virgin. I'm going to assume that due to his kind of not being so bright, he's not the best with the ladies. We've seen that, right? Eggs and just talking to Tanzel. So I took that as either she's been around and Raymond and her have been together for a minute and the show just didn't tell us that, or did she sneak into his tent after he won a trial of 7, jump his bones, and now she's pregnant to keep her around because she knows he's now a knight. She knows he has a family business. Like, is she just a little gold digger situation?
I took it as that, like, this was a one night stand and like he just smashed for the first time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then like, and Raymond is also like, maybe that might have been Raymond's first piece.
Yeah.
Because he don't know how this works, whatever. And he talking about they married and she's pregnant and then.
Right.
When like, did that? Bro, she's trapping you right now. She's trapping you, bro. Like,
I think that's the case. She was his prize, and he doesn't understand how any of it works.
Nope.
And she says, "Oh, it feels like a boy," and I'm sure that baby will just disappear magically somehow. Okay. So
that was funny.
Yeah, hilarious. But he's such a good guy. And so next scene, Maekar wants a word with Dunk.
I know. I thought, like, and everybody was on Raymond again, like best friend. He was on point. He's like,
he
wait,
ain't talking to him, bro. Yeah, he busy.
Time out.
Yep.
Time out. And he's like, nah, it's like Dunk was like, I think Dunk was just gonna accept any fate that he got. So he's like, I'm not scared no more, man. Yep. Like it is what it is. Like,
well, I ain't about to fight. For this whole kind of story and this whole kind of coming to a realization for Dunk, because remember when the Targaryens first arrived, he held them at the highest respect. He looked up to them. The Baelor was the reason he got into the tournament in the first place. Like he saw them and put them on this pedestal. And now with the Trial of Seven being over, he sees this democracy and the Targaryen family in a completely different light, and just kind of isn't really about the respect, doesn't want to be in a castle, doesn't want the kind of formalities of being part of, joining Maekar's team and the Targaryen knighthood there. Like he'd rather sleep under a tree, even though the whole goal of this was to become a knight, get respected, or make friends, be, like get money, get someone's horse, get their armor, get money for it, and then like boom, 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 improve. And now Dunk's not about that life. Like he's just like, I'm just going to go ride my horse. And if we got to stay at an inn or under a tree or wherever, that's fine by me. Because whatever you guys got going on here, not good.
Yeah, I'm not with it. Like, I know too much. And just in a little bit of time, I know too much.
And this conversation was a little bit of a roller coaster for me. I was curious where it was all going to kind of end. Yeah. But, we start off with the line, some men say I meant to kill my brother and I'll go to my death to say I didn't. Straight up from the book, straight rip line from the book. We love that.
Okay.
And
these are two men that definitely feel guilty about the circumstances, man. Yeah. Both of them have severe grief right now. Yeah. And, I think Dunk opening up and saying like, bro, what you mean? Like, yeah, you might have hit him, but like, bro, it was my fault, man. Yeah. Like it was my, but really they should all be mad at Aerion, right? Like this is all Aerion's doing. Yeah. Like if we keep it a buck, he spazzed out. Like he shouldn't have even been in watching the play, right? He spazzed out on Shorty. He gets beat up. He didn't want to handle it himself, right? He didn't want to just a trial by combat. He put everybody at risk. You know what I mean? Uncle at risk. And I think they should all really be mad at Aerion, to be honest. And they both feel that grief.
Yep, and we learn his faith. Daddy is sending Aerion off to boarding school in the East to become a good little boy, which obviously, spoiler alert, doesn't happen. And so, he gets sent off to kind of reflect on his actions as an adolescent teenager. And so this is it, man. This is kind of like Dunk's prize. I considered this like his golden ticket, kind of like,
oh my gosh.
You did it. You survived the Trial of Seven. You beat the boy. And now Maekar's offering him this kind of free pass. Like take A. Let him be your squire.
Live at Summerhall.
I got you a penthouse suite at Summerhall. Yeah. I get you a new sword, a new set of armor, and a guy that'll train you, master of arms. You help raise egg, and life's good, my guy. Like, I mean, would you? Again, I think this just obviously goes back to what I just said about Dunk now having this kind of realized new life vision of the Targaryens and what it means to be royalty, and obviously why he says no, but. I mean, you would expect, like, I would have expected someone from his stature, like that's a lottery. You just won the lottery. Yeah. That's your ticket to the top. Yeah. And he's like, I don't.
That's what Sir Stefan did, right? Like I mean, he took that ticket, right? Like
he sold his honor for a lot less. Yep. Yeah.
So
it's just interesting that he says no.
Like, because he earned it. Like he earned all that. You know what I mean? It's not like it was given to him, like just to, to take from somebody else. Like, no, he earned that, bro. Like he beat up the son.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. So basically he kind of says no. Like, I'm done with princes. Egg spying on him. We get the scene of them in the hallway.
Yeah.
And it's kind of their little breakup scene, little like, you weren't who I thought you
were. Why did he say that? Like, I kind of was like, because I was like, damn, I tried to rewind, and then like I wasn't hitting the right part, whatever, I guess. But like that's all I hear him say. He's like, yeah, you aren't the knight. Cause he just says I can't dunk, but like, what did he say before that?
So
like, I don't
know. So Egg was spying on the conversation with him and Maekar, and I think Egg started to leave when Dunk was like, I'm done with princes. I'm not going to. Basically, when he said I'm not going to Summerhall, because that was Egg was assuming he'd just say yes and they'd be best friends forever.
Yeah.
And then in that moment, Egg assumed that was it. There was no other chance for him to ever be a squire for Dunk again. So he's heartbroken. He sits down. Dunk says, "Were you spying?" He says, "No, sir." And then he was that was kind of the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just, and then just saying, maybe you're not the knight I thought you were. Very, just an emotional little boy who doesn't know how to handle things, right? And so basically, then I think we get a scene as this sort of Egg has the knife behind his back. He sees his little hair coming in.
Oh my god!
And like I was curious, like why, like what did the hair trigger him going into Aerion's room? Like what that kind of, I don't know if
maybe. Well, because here's the thing you say that. And like we have 2 or 3 different scenes, I feel like, where people are describing him as a little monster, right? You know what I mean? Like, well, and it's funny because we did skip over that conversation he had with, or did that happen after when he talked to Darren?
Darren, that happened after, yeah.
Okay, but still, it's just this idea of like, like he's this he's unruly little boy, he's a monster, he's this, he's that, and I think maybe. We only seen the good side of Egg, right? Like maybe he is a badass little kid, man. Like, you know what I mean? But if we take Egg's story to be true, like, bro, he's been kind of abused by his older brother. You know what I mean? To some extent. So like maybe he's the only one that gets caught, right? When he does the bad thing or when he retaliates, and then like it makes him look like he's like wilding out here. And I think because he did try to separate himself from like his identity with his hair, and then you're right, it might have triggered like I am a Targaryen. Right. I'm gonna kill my brother.
Right. Like if my brother can do it, if my dad can kill his brother, why can't I kill my emotion? Yeah, just an emotional little scene there where no words were said, but obviously Maekar was just kind of chilling in the shadows and stopped that from happening. I'm curious he didn't
to get caught by your dad is crazy.
But in that instance, do you think just because there was nothing said and presumably no repercussions for Egg in there, I'm assuming Maekar knew he had the knife and knew what his intentions were.
You can hear the knife drop.
He dropped it. Okay, okay. So, do you think Maekar just understands like why Egg would want to do this? Like,
yes, I think he does. Yeah, unfortunately.
So interesting scene there. Yeah, interesting scene there. And I think that then cuts to the bee funeral.
Oh man, and that was different.
Yeah, and Dunk talking to Darren, just like, how dare you show up here? And it's in this moment. This is the moment where Dunk realizes, oh, I need to do whatever I can do in my power to keep Egg out of this castle. Because if Egg goes to a castle, it's whatever Darren said, we're going to make a monster of him yet. And so he knows he would just end up just like Aerion if Egg went home with the Targaryens. So that's kind of when Dunk gets this idea, goes back to Maekar, and is like, hey, let me keep Egg the way you want me to, but like let me take him on the road. Let me raise him like I was raised. Let me do this, this, and that. And I rewound this a couple times, but Maekar says, I won't have my son sleeping in the bushes and eating hard salt beef. And Dunk's like, well, okay, but with all due respect, Darren never slept in the gutters, and Aerion never has had the rarest meat his entire life. So
basically saying like you ain't pay no attention to them. Like just make sure Egg got some bread and we'll be all right.
Right.
Like,
well, which is the crazy thing, because why couldn't Maekar just like give Dunk a sack of gold coins to kind of finance their journey? Like, yeah, cool, take them on the road, but when you need to sleep, don't sleep under a tree. Give him some money to go to the inn or the pub or whatever kind of place you can go, or give him, I don't know, a Lyonel Baratheon tent to sleep in or something. Like, why?
Well, he didn't, because the reason why, and he says it, right? He's my last son. Like, he has no faith in his other sons, right? Like Aegon is the only one that has any potential to be a possible king, and like it's a matter like I can't just give you my kid, right? Like I can let you be around my kid as long as like it's in my kingdom. That's why he gave him like, the lot, like gave him the lottery ticket.
You're right. Yep.
But yeah, and I get it. I'm like, yeah, and because that's what we think happens at the end, right? We think like, oh, he must have gave him some bread, and like, but then we find out what we find out. But no, like I get it. Like I can't just give you I can't just let you have my kid just out there, right? Like that's not safe, right? Like especially if shit hits the fan later down the road. I can't have my son in danger. But
wouldn't then the strategy be for Dunk and Egg, if they don't have any family money or a big fancy tent to sleep in, wouldn't the strategy just be for Egg to let his hair continue to grow, and wherever they go, no, I guess not.
I don't know. Yeah, no, because people hate them. People hate them.
Right. I was just gonna say, like, be like, hey, I'm Egg Targaryen. This is my guy. You need to give us whatever we need because we're the Targaryens. But I guess that wouldn't work because you're right. Everybody hates him and would just right. Okay. It wouldn't take this little 8-year-old boy seriously either.
Well, so because you got to understand, like, there's like, and we'll talk about it. I do want to talk about it a little bit at the end, like what's gonna happen. But there's multiple Blackfyre rebellions. Like there's literally bastards out there that are like, nah, like I'm the real, whatever. I want things to go this way. So yeah, he's vulnerable out there. And especially if people know that he's a Targaryen, just being protected by some hedge knight that's not fully skilled. He's not fully like Maekar said, like, yeah, you can fight a little bit, but like you ain't got it.
Yep.
You ain't got it yet.
Yep. And then our final scene with Raymond comes up as we see Sweetfoot come back around the corner. He's getting his horse back. I mean, I said it. If he doesn't get his horse back at the end of the season, we riot. Now, within that moment, did you expect him to just give the horse back to Raymond to live in the apple fields? I mean, that was an interesting twist there. I don't know why he would have. Maybe three horses for him because he thought he was going alone. Maybe 3 horses was too many for one person to take.
Yeah, but I think well because that was actually Sir Arlan's horse, right? So that was his horse. So that's why you see at the end
with the Fast and the Furious at the end,
right? Like that, yeah.
The journey. Yep.
Yeah, that part of my chapter is over. Like I need this horse to like live its own life, Yeah, so that's why. Like, because I thought because you don't really know. Like, he had 3 horses. I didn't know what the distribution was, and then realizing like, oh, that was Sir Arlan's horse, right? Like, so yes, Sir Arlan in a way helped him, and he did help him one last time with that horse. Got him some equity, you know what I mean? And then it's like, no, but I won.
Wow.
But you my boy. I'm glad you bought him.
Yep.
Now I know he's in good hands.
Yep.
Like I can move on with my life.
And we didn't. I apologize because I probably just didn't take notes on it. But we did miss. There was a flashback in this episode, real quick, with what is.
Oh my God! The question, like, why didn't you actually knight me? And I thought this motherfucker was dead. Like he just. I was like, dang, that was his last words. And then we don't even get. Like, he doesn't even tell him. He doesn't.
And I assumed that was supposed to be moments before the beginning of the series. Like Arlan doesn't make it through the night, and that's where we meet Dunk for the first time. So Dunk was never knighted, confirmed, right? I mean, that's kind of
never knighted, and then but we don't know why, and we know why. Like I think we all know the dirty secret is that
Arlan never was either.
Yeah. But it's like we're just gonna. It's the mystery.
We're riding, right? We're riding. Yeah. It's so. And the flashback is essentially just kind of the story of the penny tree. As knights would go out to battle, they put a penny in the tree and then take it down when they come back in the town square, and then that's just the tree became filled with pennies. There's no more space because no one ever came back. And so we kind of see that memorial for Dunk, ending the chapter of Sir Arlan with the horse, with the penny in the tree, and then our Fast and Furious 7 scene at the end.
He Paul Walkered that,
Yeah, and but before we even get there, Egg's back. Egg comes hopping over the wall. He's got his best little travel clothes on, and he's like, "Sir, my father," he said, "you're good to go." Did you assume that was the case when we first saw it? Or did you know he was lying when we saw the final scene of the show?
I think it wasn't until the final scene because it got me because I was thinking like it was kind of strange though because I was like, why he just come out of nowhere like that? Like he just came out of nowhere.
Waited till the very last minute,
and then it was like oh where is he at? And I'm like, oh, this little sneaky little kid. So it did get me, I guess. Yeah, I was like, wow, okay, it's gonna work out. Things are gonna work out.
So he gives him his own horse. He says, "You better not ride mine unless I put you there." First kind of little lesson. I love that dynamic. And again, I think that's just really, they kind of end the show with what made us fall in love with it in the first place, was that kind of big brother, little brother dynamic between Dunk and Egg, and just that dialogue where he's like, "Yo, here's your horse. Keep it right. Don't ride mine. Call me sir." And then cut to not 3 seconds later, and Dunk's like questioning Egg, and he's fighting back, and they're now just talking like best friends again. And it's like this professional but non-relationship that they have. And you and I were kind of touching on it before the episode. Are there 9 kingdoms? What is the situation here? Like, what has your book touched on that at all?
Yes.
Can you go into
because there's certain kingdoms that we don't actually look at them as kingdoms because they don't have like a house seat, for example. Like there's no like lord, like the Crown Lands is one of those places where like we don't really consider that like its own house. But because there's like I guess there are people. I think who was part of the Crown Lands? It was I think isn't Tarly from the Crown Lands?
I do not know.
Because but anyway, like so there's small like kingdoms or areas, regions that kind of get lumped with other regions, so to speak. So that's kind of where we're at with that. Mm-hmm. But they're like he said them all. He definitely said them all, right? But there are actually like a couple of other different ones. And then technically Dorne is not actually a kingdom because it never was conquered. Like it never, it was never conquered or really forfeited. So, so that's like that was like the ninth, that's part of the ninth too in Crown Lands. But
well, and I hear they have incredible puppet shows there. So, I mean, we'll certainly have to see who's putting them on down in Dorne in season 2. And final scene of the season is just the Targaryens leaving the tournament lands of Ashford, and we see one son up front, the second son in the back, and then Maekar just looking for what we assume is the third son, and he's nowhere to be found. And obviously, I think
fourth son. Well, yeah, I guess third there. Yeah,
of course, yeah.
Because what's the name is at the Citadel. So
yes. And so, just kind of this realization moment for Maekar, and I don't know if we'll see any negative punishments or repercussions from that, just based on the history of the characters that we know. But just a fun little, obviously, I thought maybe Egg snuck out and just and was
you did
was
think
lying.
that? Okay,
I thought maybe there was a little bit, and then as soon as I saw Maekar pacing the line of the carriages, I'm like, what? He's not. Who is he looking for?
Yeah,
obviously, yeah. So, great little scene there at the end, and that's it.
Yep,
that's it.
So, do you have any ideas or any thoughts about season 2? Like because again, this is great. This is a great finale. Yep. Some shows, you know what I mean, the finale is kind of leads into the next season, but I like when it's a clear start and end, and then season 2 we could start, like, they literally can start anywhere. Right, in season 2. And that's a great thing that they did. But what are you looking forward to in season 2? Because I got some things I'm looking forward to.
According to my sources, and this is apologize, it's just back end stuff, not as far as any storylines, but for next season they're already filming. We knew that already. Season 2 will be another 6 episodes, and each episode will range again between 30 and 60 minutes. So maybe just a little bit longer for an episode or two, maybe penultimate, maybe a 45. They'll be adapting the Sworn Sword story. And Duncan Egger obviously headed towards Dorne, and we're looking at a 2027 release, probably same time, February of next year, most likely. And that's kind of all I know about it. I did see an interview with him and the actress who does play Tanzel, and I think they just obviously mentioned through context clues and then the interview, we should see them back together in season 2. But other than that, the only other, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Dorne like the peaceful kind of place where there's not too much crime and things going on? It's where they send children to be raised because it's a non-war environment, correct?
It's a very matriarchal land. They are independent. They are like the most independent place. Like they don't they respect the crown. But no one's ever conquered them. And there's been some fealty. All right, we're cool with y'all, but it's no beef. And nobody really, because they got their own ecosystem. They really could fight other places on their own. They are pretty powerful, but it's a relatively safe place for people to go. So I could see them doing their thing down there. But
what do you got? Because I know you.
So I'm interested. So because we alluded to it last week, right? So if Henry Cavill is going to be part of this season, they said so if he's going to be part of the Blackfyre Rebellions, I'm interested to see that, right? Because that was one of the craziest times as well. So, and I'm gonna give you a character that I want to see. So, and just a little story, because this is what I learned, right?
Yep.
So Darren the Good, who the king is, right?
Yep.
His dad was Aegon the Fourth, right?
Yep.
Aegon the Fourth is one of the most embarrassing kings that they've ever had in the realm, right?
Okay.
He was fucking everything, bro. He had mad bastard sons. He was pushing the limits. He was kind of like Aegon the Second, who is Alicent's son, right? Just a fuck up, whatever. And he was trying to war with people. He was trying to do this, whatever. But what happened though is he learns the bad lesson of what happens when you spread your seed too far, right? And so Daemon Blackfyre is a bastard son of Aegon the Fourth, right? So he is the bastard brother of the king who we know now, Darren the Good, right?
Okay.
The king that they don't even mention, right?
Right.
All right. So he's a part of this because right before Aegon the Fourth died, he legitimized all his bastards. Like in a one swell, like the auto pen. He auto penned all his
it. He just gave all of his bastards a pardon, a presidential pardon, right before he died, and now every one of them thinks that they should inherit the throne.
Right. Exactly. So that was a bad decision, right?
Yeah.
So however though, right? He has another bastard brother named his name is Brendan Rivers, right? Yep. So and you might remember that name, so you keep going, right? Mm-hmm. So Brendan Rivers though was a fucking beast, my dude. Like he was a beast. So he's a much younger brother of Darren, but he's around the same age as Daemon Blackfyre. So Brendan Rivers is like, yo, no, I'm fighting with you. I'm fighting with you, Darren. Like, this is where, he's also, like I said, he was also a bastard kid, but like, he's not going against the crown, right? Mm-hmm. So he's a beast, right? He becomes, and he acquires this name. They call him Bloodraven, right? Mm-hmm. And Bloodraven is no joke, man. He's like one of this most feared guys. Mm-hmm. He helps win the Blackfyre, one of the Blackfyre rebellions. And he ends up becoming hand to the king to Maekar's older brother named Aerys, right? Yep. He even becomes the hand of the king to Maekar, right? Okay. And so he does a lot of stuff, different stuff, and like people do not mess with Bloodraven, right? He got white hair because he is part Targaryen. Okay. He has this like wild scar, right? And like they make mentions of he interacts with Dunk later on in time, right? So, but here's what's crazy about Bloodraven, right? So when little Aegon becomes the king, Bloodraven did he basically like had some type of revenge on like a dissenter of the crown, but like he did it in a way that was like real shady, right? Like and so little Aegon bans him and he banishes him to the Night's Watch, right? Mm-hmm. So this guy becomes the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, right? And then he's doing his thing, like people respect him. They know he can fight. Yeah. Well, he disappears on a mission, right? On a ranger mission. Well, do you know where he disappeared to? He disappears beyond the wall, and he becomes the Three-Eyed Raven.
Right. Yes.
He becomes the Three-Eyed Raven. Like, yeah. And so like the Three-Eyed Raven was not he wasn't just some old man, bro. Like he and they talk about like he could see the past, he can see the future, he can see the present, he can warg off into different bodies and stuff like that, whatever. And it's just freaking dope, man, because it's like all these connections to like the actual Game of Thrones, to this series, and so I want to see Bloodraven, man. I want to see young Brendan Rivers.
I got pictures up on Google right now. And okay. All right. Yeah, that's interesting.
If they have Daemon Blackfyre, they almost have to have Bloodraven in it because he was one of the biggest fighters like against him. So
man,
because Darren wasn't fighting like that. It was his knights and his guard and all that. And
so we're definitely getting Blackfyre Rebellion flashback scenes in next season. And from everything that I've heard, the Blackfyre Rebellion, and I'm not sure if it's this one or another one, but
there's like 3 of them
in general. Probably this one based on Bloodraven and But that's like the series people want the most. Like whether it's a movie or a show or a play or whatever. Like the Blackfyre Rebellion is like all I see on Twitter constantly. Anytime there's a connection to the Blackfyre Rebellion, the fandom, the army is on it. They're like, oh my god, the Blackfyre Rebellion. Like so, if Caval comes as Daemon Blackfyre, I think that'd be interesting to see. So maybe, with them, do you think then like with them, Dunk and Egg going to Dorne next season, or is any like, or what kind of, we're probably not going to get like Trial of 7 type combat action in the middle of the city of Dorne. So is that Blackfyre Rebellion flashbacks going to be our major?
I think we might get flashbacks to maybe like a earlier rebellion, but then I think one kind of brews up like near Dorne, to be honest with you, whatever. So we're gonna get either the second or third one depicted. So
I see.
And I think it fits. Like if you have flashbacks, it's like, oh yeah, this is not the first time that whatever tried to, But yeah. So that's dope, man. And yeah, Blackfyre. And yeah, because we see they mentioned Blackfyre in the episode before that when young Dunk was trying to plunder from the soldier, he had a Daemon Black that was a rebel. Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah, and what they do is they basically have this Targaryen sigil, but like reverse, right? So it's a black dragon with red on the outside, as opposed to a red dragon with black on the outside.
Wow. Well, I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited too. We got another year, so we'll wait.
That's all right.
It's all right. We've got some filler in the meantime, but yeah, season 2 sounds like it should be pretty great, just as the first one was. So, yep. I mean, I don't know about you, but with season 1 and everything that it had, I think I haven't done it yet, but I will be making time to now binge this season, just as a final rewatch. Of everything. And I think my predictions are correct. I think binging it back to back to back, all 6 episodes, I think it might make it even better. Like all the slow moments and even like this episode, maybe so like episode 2 that wasn't as good as 3 or 4 or 5. I think yeah, as a series overall, excellent. I think 9 out of 10 season for me.
Yeah, I'm going with that.
And they've definitely set the bar for season 2. I'm curious what new characters we see. I'm curious old characters, like, are we going to see Lyonel Baratheon in Dorne next season? Like, how is that going to play out?
True.
Fossoway, all the connections we've made. Maybe we won't see them again till season 3. Who knows? But yeah, man. Any final closing thoughts on the series altogether?
No, man, definitely a dope series. Again, man, this was a treat, man. A lot of levity, a lot of laughter, a lot of like lighthearted moments. There was some seriousness to it, but like, yeah, man, this is the most invested we've been in a Game of Thrones kid since Arya Stark. So
yeah, well, and I think just especially you and I personally, correct me if I'm wrong, this series kind of is House of the Dragon, probably Game of Thrones a little bit, maybe House of the Dragon, maybe a little bit more last season than the first, but especially with this series and this season that we just watched, I think especially for me, just kind of opened the floodgates and kind of piqued our interest in the lore and with the book and knowing what happens, and now just like reading and discovering the different families and names and rules and reigns and things that just, whereas before, up until this point in time, the only thing that we really knew about Dunk and Egg, if you weren't a book reader, is from Joffrey in Game of Thrones, where he says, 4 pages, Sir Duncan the Tall must not have been that great.
There's another song, another scene where Bran, when he was in bed and his little septa was trying to read to him, and she's like, these, Duncan the Tall, these are your favorite stories. He's like, those aren't my favorite stories, whatever. Yeah, so
Yeah,
we get a couple mentions of him.
So I just overall great. Actors are great. Writing was great. Everything just, every single.
Really, nobody died. Like, to be like, other than not that many people died, so we could bring back a lot of people. Yeah. So and that's rare. That's rare. Like for only one like on-screen character to really die. Like that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. That's great season. Great show overall. And just to then one last final thing to go off of what you mentioned last week. I ran some of the rough numbers, and based on downloads, views, clips, Instagram, everything, I fear, fam, you and I have cooked this season.
We did. This was our best. This was our best. Like
60,000 plus views across the board with everything. I know in the grand scheme of the internet, that's nothing crazy.
Hey,
whatever.
That's good for us,
man.
But
for us and little small town review podcasts that we do once or twice a year, crazy.
Yeah, we ran it up, man.
Yeah,
I
had fun this season. I had fun watching the show. I had fun recapping it. I had fun watching it, and it's definitely put me, I think, in a much better headspace than I was for especially House season 1 and then House season 2.
Yeah,
with just Daemon being in a castle haunted by ghosts the whole time. It's definitely projecting us into an incredible season 3 of House, and then just everything to come beyond that. So I'm definitely excited for this franchise, this world of kingdoms and games and things that we've seen and will continue to. So folks, until next time, Los and I are going to discuss when that might be, but if not, we'll see you in June for House of the Dragon season 3. Like and subscribe on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you can find both of us individually. Recap and record. We say it every week. You know the deal. We'll have some links down below in the description. But other than that, that is Season 1, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, a Game of Thrones series. We can't thank you enough for listening every week. Somehow every week we've managed to do an hour plus on a show that sometimes seemed like 20 minutes long.
Right.
But no, we killed it. It was a great time. I can't wait to be back again.
Yep. Can't wait, man.
Have a good one. We'll talk soon. Peace out.
Peace. You think we should do Euphoria?